Hello and welcome to Prep Playbook. I'm Jim Rapier. Week 6 of the prep football season is in the books, and on this week's show, we'll be looking back at some of the past week's action and ahead to some of the games in Week 7. Also joining me via Skype will be Jim Derry, who will give some analysis and provide some scouting reports for some of next week's games. So let's get started. Jim, there were some great games out there in Week 6, so let's run through them pretty quickly and do a little assessing. You covered Ponchatoula versus Covington, and the Green Wave steamrolled to a 59-28 victory. What did you take from this game?
Well, same thing I take from most of the games I see when I watch Ponchatoula. Christian Campbell, he was fantastic, rushed for 183 yards on 13 carries, 3 touchdowns, 2 of them long ones, and that Ponchatoula defensive front is the real deal. So I'm looking forward to Halloween night. Ponchatoula's going to host St. Paul's, and we'll see if the defensive front can get to Kenny Sears and Ryan Okrepke and slow the Wolves down. But if they don't lose that game, they're going 10-0 in the regular season.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. All right, Jim, move on over now. We're going to talk about Curtis. They ventured to St. Charles Catholic Friday night, and the Comets gave the Patriots a real fight before Curtis prevailed 27-21. Any surprises there?
No offense to the Patriots, but I want to talk about the Comets. The heart and determination of this team proves that when they get to the Division II playoffs, I think this team could be lying in the weeds and can make some real noise in Division II. Who knows? Maybe Coach Monica could bring home a state championship. But I love the Comets fight in that game, and I can't wait to see them go the rest of the season.
All right, let's switch gears. In the Battle of Algiers, Landry Walker took down Carr 27-7. Jim, what did you think?
Fantastic defense for the Charging Bucks. They forced 6 turnovers in the game, and if they can just cut down on their penalties a little bit and their mistakes, I think this is another team that can make a nice run. They've got a tough schedule to finish the season. They got Bell Chase, McDonough 35, and they finish the season with Warren Easton, and everybody's gonna be looking forward to that one.
A few of the highlights here. Landry Walker's defense. I mean, they're getting it done offensively, defensively, all over the field. They just look really sound in all areas, don't they, Jim?
They are. They're fantastic. Obviously, their offense is good enough to win just about every game they play, and that's why, looking forward, I can't help but look ahead to Week 10, because when they play Easton, is the Landry Walker defense going to be better than the Easton offense? I don't think anyone knows the answer to that. Everyone's talking about Easton, but I can't wait to see that game.
Well, we have a few weeks to wait till that showdown. Let's turn to the Catholic League. Play started this week, and Brother Martin upended St. Augustine 41-29. Jim, how about those undefeated Crusaders?
This might be a team flying under the radar more than any other. I mean, you don't hear hardly anything about this 6-0 team. I saw them play against Everett a few weeks ago, and they're the real deal. You got Jared West on the screen right there, who's an unsung leader in the metro area as far as rushing goes, and he's one of the better running backs in the metro area, actually one of the better in the state. You got Stanley Morgan you're showing there on defense on the St. Aug side. It's going to be an excellent game. I'm not sure who I'd predict to win. That's going to be your call there.
Well, we'll definitely make note of that moving forward. Here, another highlight of the Brother Martin defense getting it done. All right, Jim, let's stay in the Catholic League. Rummel just continues to roll as it moved past Shaw 56-14. The Raiders are playing to their ranking, aren't they?
I've said it just about all year long. The Rummel Raiders are the best team in the state, regardless of class. I've seen 15 or 20 games already this season. This team has got it all. They've got a great quarterback. They've got a great front line. They've got, she's showing Damian Jean-Pierre there. He had 2 long touchdowns against the Shaw Eagles this past week. They've got a great defense. I don't know what else to say about them, except I'd be surprised. As tough as Division I is, St. Thomas More, Curtis, and all the Catholic League, I'd really be surprised if they don't win it all come December.
And one aspect of the Rummel offense that is so important, which I feel you'll probably agree, is Forcade is not just someone who can keep teams honest by throwing a pass here or there. He's a legitimate passing threat, isn't he?
Oh, absolutely. He makes every right decision. He's in complete control back there. I asked that question to Coach Jay Roth Saturday night, and obviously he speaks so highly of his quarterback, but, he was in complete command, and it's something you don't see very often of a junior, but he can run the ball, but, as a passer, he was 10 of 12 against a decent Shaw defense, and he's what makes them click on offense, no question. And then you need a leader like that to keep going, and they're looking for 3 in a row.
All right, now let's move on to one other game. Last but not least, a couple of high-scoring teams, Warren Easton and Belle Chase, got together, with Easton coming out on top 38-17. Jim, the Eagles just keep flying, don't they?
Yeah, they had that slip up against Woodlawn a couple weeks ago, but I think this team, let's see what they've got, because they've got some tough games coming up as well in a very tough district. So I'm looking forward to seeing them. And again, I hate to keep talking about the game in Week 10 against Landry Walker, but I think that's going to be one of the, if not the best game of the season in the metro area. It's certainly one of the top 5 that we're looking for. And this team just has so many weapons. Tyron Johnson and Caper Smith, they just can do it all.
And Caper Smith accounted for 6 touchdowns, 5 passing, 1 running by our count. And here's the talented Belle Chase quarterback Andrew Hicks on a 47-yard touchdown run. A lot of offense there, but Easton just had way too much.
They do, and I've also said this before, that this district, I think, it's certainly the toughest in 4A, I believe, and it's one of the toughest in the state, along with the Catholic League. Some fantastic teams there that are going to go make some noise in the playoffs. They're probably all going to win at least one game in the playoffs in advance. And we wouldn't be surprised if 2 of them are playing in the Dome.
Last year, if I'm not mistaken, the latest district opponents from that district played each other was in the semifinals, and wouldn't be a shocker if that happened again this year. All right, Jim, let's look ahead to Week 7. In District 8-2A, there's a showdown when Riverside faces Newman. What do you think of this matchup?
This is one of the games I've been looking forward to. Riverside scored 60-plus points in 3 straight games. It's amazing. You think they lose their quarterback in the beginning of the season, but no, Jordan Loving keeps them rolling. They keep scoring, and I think in the end, as good as Newman's offense is, I think that Riverside's got a little bit too much. There could be 100 points scored in this game. It would not surprise me at all if there's 100 points scored in this game. I think Riverside's a little bit better. I've made them the number 1 team in Class 2A all since Week 2 or 3, and I think they are the best team in 2A, despite some teams from up north, and I think they win this game.
Sounds like the scoreboard operator better keep his hands ready with the trigger.
I'm glad I don't have stats in that one.
In the Catholic League, the question this week is, can St. Aug rebound and upend Rummel? Jim, what's your take?
I don't think so. Again, Rummel is the best team in the state. They're focused every week after week after week. Coach Roth is doing maybe his finest job, and that's saying a lot because, they've got 2 state championships in a row. And look, on the other side, St. Aug's doing a fantastic job. They're doing better than most people expected with all the things they've lost. Coach Crutchfield's done a great job with them. But in the end, I think that Rummel's has a little bit too much, and I think that it's going to be a very close game. I think it'll be within a touchdown or so, but I think Rummel's going to end up on top there.
Just another typical Catholic League battle. All right, on the North Shore, North Lake Christian and St. Thomas Aquinas square off for the District 7 2A lead. Jim, with these 2 rivals, intensity is not going to be a problem, will it?
No, this game went in overtime last year at Strawberry Stadium. It was one of the better games that I saw. Very low-scoring game. This year, I think it'll be a little bit more high-scoring. I think it'll be in the 20s, maybe the low 20s, instead of the I think it was 10-7 or it was close. It was an overtime game last year. But both of these teams are fantastic. They're both in the top 10 in the state in 2A. I haven't made my prediction yet, so I'm going to hold off a couple days on it. But if North Lake wins this game, they have an excellent chance to be 10-0 for the 2nd straight year. The winner of this game is going to win the district.
All right. Last but certainly not least, Belle Chase looks to get back on track but faces a stout challenge with Landry Walker. What do you think?
I think Landry Walker's on a roll. I think their defense is, like I said before, is playing well. They've got to cut down on the penalties. And honestly, if for Belle Chase to win, they're going to have Landry Walker make some mistakes. Landry Walker's going to have to kind of beat themselves. And look, nothing against the Cardinals. They're a good football team, but I think Landry Walker's rolling right now. I think the Charging Bucks are the better team. All
right. Well, thanks a lot. It appears there is a ton for fans to take in this week when it comes to prep football. Thanks for giving us some input, Jim.
Glad to be here via Skype.
And don't forget, you can follow all of Jim's work as well as all of our writers at highschoolsports.NOLA.com. Well, that's all for this edition of Prep Playbook. For Jim Derry, I'm Jim Rapier. Thanks for clicking on us. We'll see you again next week.